While the Boston Celtics are gearing up for the NBA playoffs, which will start on Sunday for the Celtics, Brad Stevens did address the media and asked numerous questions that I have been dying to know the answer to. I know you guys have as well. We're going to talk about contract extensions, some that are yet to come and some that have already been offered. And we're also going to talk about Joe Mazzulla's future with the Boston Celtics and also touch on Brad's future with the Celtics. But before we get into that on Celtics Today by Chat Sports, you got Allie Barefoot here, and I want to know each and every single one of you guys. So all you have to do to join this beautiful Celtics community is going ahead and hit that sub button for me. We currently have 25,000 people strong in here, but we just need about 121 more to reach 25,500. So hit that sub button and let's get into it. So the first things first, he wanted to talk about Derrick White's possible contract extension. As you guys know, D. White will be the Celtics through 2026, so he doesn't need an extension right now, but the way that he's been playing, I definitely think that he does deserve it. So let's break down what Brad Stevens had to say about bald-headed Derrick White and his future in the city of Boston. Brad said, "I can't talk much with those things about it. We're not allowed to discuss until July 1st, but Derrick's had an amazing year. Derrick is a huge, huge part of our team, and we want him around for as long as we can keep him around," which is what we had known. I knew Derrick White had a lot of resources in his bag, but what he has done this year in a very transforming offense and defense with a lot of new players in there, I do think that Derrick White has earned himself a bigger bag in Boston. And I understand that he can't go in depth about what the actual contract details would be to offer somebody like Derrick White, but it makes me feel good knowing that they're very confident a deal is going to get done, especially since what Derrick White has done this last season, like Brad Stevens says, for the Boston Celtics. He's averaging about 15 points a game. He has been going through a little bit of inconsistent slumps this season, I would say, but D. White always shows out, at least on the defensive side of the ball. He is leading the NBA in blocks right now for players under 6'4". He's got about 5.5 assists, about 4 boards a game, and still shooting fairly well from the field and really good from the three-point line. Not to mention, this man is still producing career highs in assists, rebounds, blocks per game, 3 points, 3-point percentage, and from the line, which the Celtics have struggled, very inconsistent from a free throw line this year. So it's really nice to see what Derrick White is providing some consistency with his offense and his defense as well. I know the answer to this. I know what you guys have said down in the comments, but I still got to ask you guys just really quick here. Should Derrick White get a $35 million per year extension? As we know, Jrue Holiday just signed a $135 million extension over the course of 4 years, which we're going to break down in just a few moments, but this is about D. White. Type M for more than $35 million per year. Type L for less. Go ahead and comment that down below, and like I said, we're still going to talk about Jrue Holiday, going to talk about Missoula, and Brad even talks about Brad. But first, I do want to tell you guys about Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app in America. Let me go ahead and break down how easy it is to go ahead and get started. If you go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, and if you use that promo code CLNS for a first-time deposit match up to $100, you can watch yourself win to up to 100 times your money on any entry just by picking between 2 to 6 players and picking more or less on their stats is how you guys are going to be able to test your skills and win some money while you do it. While the Celtics aren't playing until Sunday, there are a lot of play-in games that are happening here primarily for the West Coast today. So I've got Steph Curry having more than 30 points. He's going up against the Kings. A lot of rivalry there in the California state. So I think Curry pops off in Steph Curry fashion. And then Anthony Davis takes on Zion Williamson of the New Orleans Pelicans. So I'm going to go with more than 14 boards. He did not get to play a couple games in the last part of the regular season, so I think he pops off. These are my picks. Go on ahead and make yours. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use that promo code CLNS for a first-time deposit match up to $100 as they have quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, an enormous selection, and my favorite, Apple Pay. It makes depositing extremely easy. So pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Brad Stevens does give his praise to Jrue Holiday, who did just recently sign that 4-year, $135 million contract extension. And he had nothing but great things to say about Jrue Holiday. I've heard this before from former teammates on the Bucks talking about how influential and how positive of a player Jrue Holiday is. So it's no surprise that Stevens also loves him. What he broke down to the media saying, I think we can all see it. Jrue came here joined our team, and all he tried to do was add to winning. And for a guy that's accomplished as he is, it's used to more usage, reps, and touches that never even came into play. All that came into play was, what kind of teammate am I being, and can I help us win? Like we said, Jrue Holiday's offensive stats have plummeted if you look at what he did last year for the Bucks and what he's doing this year for the Celtics, but that was for a reason. He doesn't need to be the leading scorer on this team right now. We need him on defense. And what he's done on both sides of the ball did help him secure a spot in the 2024 Olympics for Team USA, which I am extremely excited to watch him play. He averages about 12.5 points per game. For some reference, he averaged about 19.5 points per game for the Bucks last year. Buddy is grabbing 5.5 boards per game, nearly 5 assists, shooting 48% from the field and 43% from a three-point line, not to mention also above 60% from the corner three, which is one of the best in the NBA and a career high for Jrue Holiday. He did not get paid to stuff the stat sheet. He didn't even get paid to be brought to Boston to do that. What we love about Jrue Holiday is as a good locker room guy, and he's incredible on defense. He is paid to be efficient on both ends, and he truly does that. Just when you think you've got Tatum, Brown, and Porzingis locked up, you still have Jrue waiting in the corner, ready to drop over 60% of his shots from that area, which I do love, and I do think that he is the glue that holds this stuff together, because you need that dog on the floor with the Celtics, and you also needed a player that's already got hardware in his jewelry box. So I think Jrue has been nothing but a great addition to the Celtics, and I'm glad to see that he could possibly end his career in Boston. Are you happy with the Jrue Holiday contract extension? If you want more details on that extension, we do have a video. We had breaking news. We reported about it right after it happened on this channel. You can always go check that out. But if you know what's going on, type yes or type no. But there's a couple more things that Brad Stevens wanted to touch on for the Boston Celtics before they start their historic run to Banner 18. The Celtics are practicing hard this week. Yeah, there might be a couple NBA players and teams that are fighting for a play-in spot right now. The C's aren't worried about that. They're worried about how they can get every bit of practice in until Sunday. And Adam Himmelsbach did tweet out that Jrue Holiday last week on the C's week off before the playoffs. I'm pretty sure during the time Joe's going to have us do some crazy-ass drills to get us all ready, the Celtics told the media to arrive around 10:30 to do post-practice interviews. It's 12:05, and they're still going. And it's not just, dribble here, pass there, and shoot here. He is pumping crowd noise into the arena to get them ready. I actually saw a quick little tweet here that it's 300 decibel defense chants that are going on in this gym to get them equipped mentally and physically for what is about to come on the road to get to Banner 18. And honestly, Joe Mazzulla, you're crazy. You are absolutely a psychopath, but God, I love it. You have to be. With the talent that you have been given to create this incredible historic run in the 2023-24 season, you need somebody like Joe Mazzulla. Yeah, maybe he doesn't call a timeout when you want him to, but he knows how to whip his guys into shape to get ready for the postseason. Not to mention even Big Al, who has played nearly 2 decades in the league, is saying harder than any training camp practice. Joe's not messing around. And what's even better, I can't speak for the players, but I have a feeling they don't hate what's going on because they know what they're getting prepared for is going to be a lot harder than what Joe Mazzulla is putting them through right now. And Brad Stevens had nothing but great things to say about the head coach, Joe Mazzulla, and he did want to reiterate that Joe did a good job last year too. And that wasn't even technically his team. It was given to him a few weeks before the NBA regular season started. But Brad went on to say he just picked things up right on it this year. Everyone in that second year as coach, they learn a lot. He's as good as there is at getting a group on the message and staying on that message and being able to hone in on that task at hand. I do know that Tatum, Brown, Porzingis, Holiday, Derrick White, they have nothing but great things to say about Joe Mazzulla, and I do think that while there may be some conflicting feelings about Joe Mazzulla's coaching style, I think the Boston Celtics look more locked in than I have ever seen them. Even more locked in than they were heading into the finals in the postseason last year. So I love Joe Mazzulla, and I think these Boston Celtics are ready to win a championship. Your confidence in Joe Mazzulla's coaching in the playoffs, however, go ahead and scale it 1 through 10. I am a little bit reserved, I'm not going to lie, especially if they have to play somebody like Michael Malone in the Denver Nuggets, somebody like Eric Spoelstra in the Miami Heat, two coaches who I really admire in the NBA. I think Joe's got to be on his A game as much as the Boston Celtics do as well. Scale it 1 to 10 down below, and I want to touch really quick here on those rumors we talked about on yesterday's video that Brad Stevens could possibly be taking a potential head coach opening at Indiana. And Brad Stevens had something to say about that as well. He said, I've got a heck of an opportunity here. We've been here 11 years now. Our goals have been the same since we've moved here. We'd like to win a championship. Brad isn't going anywhere. His days of coaching are done. You just saw that number, 11. Do you want to go back to where you were 11 years ago? Probably not. I would say he definitely got the improvement and that raise there with the Boston Celtics. So, if you guys do love to have Brad Stevens here, go on ahead and like this video for me. And I got one more announcement here that did not come from Brad Stevens. Blake Griffin has officially retired from the NBA. I put out a short on Celtics Today a little bit earlier. I know a lot of us were really hoping that Blake Griffin might just come back before Neemias Queta filled that final roster spot, but he told Missoula a long time ago, I want to be a full-time father, and that's exactly what he gets to do now. He put his retirement message on Twitter, on all the social media platforms, pretty much just thanking all of the organizations that he has played for, the Clippers, the Nets, the Pistons, and now the Boston Celtics. So we do hope that Blake Griffin enjoys his retirement. Thank you, Blake Griffin, for everything that you have done for the Celtics and a good year for the Seas. We hope you enjoy retirement. And as always, if you guys are looking for any news, any rumors about Brad Stevens, Joe Mazzulla, Derrick White, Jrue Holiday, or even Blake Griffin, we've got it right here. Go on ahead and hit that sub button for me as the Boston Celtics start the playoffs on Sunday.